Where to begin when it comes to Descendants 2? I really don't know where to start when it comes to this movie. But I am just going to straight out and say it. This movie was all over the place. I really do consider Descendants, the first one, to actually be a guilty pleasure, because the plot was very well done, as well as the fact that it made you feel like the villains actually did have a purpose to go and fight the people. I'm just gonna say the good place. I'm not gonna do much research about all the characters' names. The only ones that I know about is Mal and Evie, because in my opinion they're the coolest. But other than that, I will say that the Descendants 2 was all over the place. Plot wise, it was all over the place, music wise, and there was very little character development in two of the main characters, which was Ben and Mal. Now, the parents weren't really involved in this one, and I'm kind of happy that they weren't, because they really don't have a purpose in the second one. But they had a major purpose in the first one, because they were ousted out of the land of good, whatever it's called, and it made sense for them to actually try to go back and conquer it, because they were defeated. They were kicked out. And having their children over there to try to be used as, means to an end for them made sense in the first one. So I'm kind of happy that they did keep the parents out in this one. The one disappointment that I had was not being able to see Ursula, since her daughter Uma was the major villain in this entire movie. Now, speaking of Uma, Uma was one of the weakest villains I have ever seen, because she was practically a pirate. I'm sorry. Yeah, she transformed into a squid at the very end, even though we know that that shell was used for different means and different purposes in the original, not the original, but in the actual cartoon movie of The Little Mermaid. We know what Ursula used that shell for. They used it wrong. I'm just saying. And I don't want to be that nerd, but I'm just saying. But other than that, she was one of the weakest villains, because there is so much that she could do. Her mother was a freaking sea witch. She could use black magic and literally take over the seas. At the very end, the climax of Little Mermaid, her mom had a crown on her head and a trident in her hand and ruling the seas. She was ruling the seas. But here's another question. How the heck can she have a kid if she's dead? I'm just saying. Ursula died. Like, she was literally harpooned to death by a ship. By the edge of the ship, she was harpooned to death. She should be dead. Like, she shouldn't have offspring. And as far as I know, I don't think octopi have children when they're dead. I'm just saying. Having Uma as an actual daughter of Ursula made no sense, because Ursula died in the movie. We saw her get speared by a boat. She's dead. So it made no sense for her to have a kid. I'm just saying. That just kind of made me think after I finished watching the movie. And secondly, Uma was dressed like a pirate. So why not make her the daughter of Captain Hook? I know they had the son of Captain Hook up there, but it made more sense to have her as the daughter of Captain Hook and have her as a villain, for her to be a pirate, than her being the daughter of Ursula, a dead octopus. I'm just saying. Or a dead sea witch. Made no sense. But despite all that, the major plot twist at the very end was confusing, because we had no idea where it came from. Now, we know that Mel had her spell book, and there was a lot of things that she actually did at the very beginning of the movie with her spell book, but at the very end it got lost. That plot twist could have carried weight if we saw her participate whatever spell that she did to do what she did for that plot twist. It would have made more sense to actually see that happen, so I wouldn't be totally confused. But seeing her turn into a squid with that shell, that really did piss me off. And then we end up seeing Mel turn into a really bad CGI dragon. That pissed me off too. And then seeing somehow Ben kind of roared like a moron and jumped in the water was just as dumb. I'm sorry. The beast was enchanted. The kiss broke his spell. He is not a true beast. He was a human. He just was a cursed one. That is what Ben is. Ben is from a cursed father. That's it. But he's no longer cursed. But I digress. This movie was not that great. It wasn't as great as the original one. I really wanted to like it, but unfortunately it was just all over the place. The dance sequences, even though they were good, was just random. The music was just random. There were some heartfelt moments there, especially when it came to Mel and Evie, and it felt more about their connection as best friends than her trying to get back with Ben. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the chemistry between best friends. I like that. And the songs they had together was great. And that was the only song that really made sense. But everything else just felt so random and out of place. It just took me out of the movie, and I was just really disappointed because I really want to like it. But guys, my overall thoughts of this movie is this. It was just not that good. The villain was extraordinarily weak. There was minimal character development in most of the major characters, except for maybe 3 of them. The guys actually did change a lot from the first one. Not only did, gosh, what is his name? Sam? I can't remember. He's the one that happens to be the son of Cruella DeVille. He finally ended up getting the balls to actually ask out a girl that he liked after, he had help from it. Well, you guys will find out if you really want to watch the movie. But he ended up really growing a lot as a character there, as well as not Jen. I don't know his name. I just know he's Jafar's son. But other than that, he kind of grown as a leader. Like, he grew as a leader far better than what his father could ever do. Then he actually, I'll call him Sam. He surpassed Cruella, and instead of being cruel to animals, he's actually great to them. They all surpassed their parents except for Mel. And it seems like Mel was somewhat transforming herself back into her mom pretty much throughout the entire movie except towards the very end, which was frightening. I'm sorry. Evie, I love her. She's probably one of my favorite characters because she really did grow a great deal. And she's the daughter of the Wicked Queen, but she surpassed the Wicked Queen. And she was thinking of other people on the other side of the Isle of the Lost. I think that's what it's called. Probably of the Isle to come back over and have the opportunity that she has. Now that's a queen right there. In my opinion, Evie should have the spot that Mel should have. That Mel currently has. She should be queen, not Mel. Mel is her mom. I'm sorry, she is. She may have came back at the very end and somehow came to her senses that came to her senses that she is who she is and all this other stuff. But in the very end of the day, it seems like she's more like her mother, and she's growing more like her mother each day. And she probably had a valid point. The main reason the main purpose or plot point in this whole movie was the fact that Mel just did not feel that she belonged on the good side because she would always be bad on the inside. And I'm gonna be real, she may have had a point. Her mom is freaking Maleficent. Maleficent is just evil just to be evil. And I'm sorry, if you're evil for the sake of evil and you come from evil and you feel evil all the time, then maybe you are. But in that case, yeah, they had to make everything hunky-dory and roses and gravy and everything. But in the very end, it would have made more sense if she stayed where she was. Because in my opinion, Evie should have been the queen. Seriously, she was more queenly than Mel could ever be. But other than that, besides all the characters, like I said, this movie was all over the place. I didn't really enjoy it much. I wanted to so much. But unfortunately, I just couldn't because it was just a huge mess. So, I really didn't like this movie at all, guys. But I still want to hear your thoughts, what you thought about Descendants 2. And yes, I did see Raven's Home, and I am going to do a review after this. But let me know what your thoughts are about Descendants 2 in the comments below. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out.